Gabe, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Macias? How you doing?
I'm great. Appreciate the time. If you don't mind, for those who don't know you or Game Time Elite Training, can you give them a background story? Started 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yep. So pretty much played 4 years of varsity basketball. Throughout high school, like my later years in high school, I started training some kids. My dad ran like a little feeder program for the high school, the local high school, and I was helping him out. And some kids wanted to do some training, so I started training them about like my junior year. Um, Trained those kids for a few months, and they started getting better, and they started asking if they could bring a couple friends. And so I started training a little bit more kids, little by little. I ended up going to a JUCO. Actually, so throughout high school, I had a bunch of knee injuries. I dislocated my kneecap 4 times, and then I broke my tibia once. So it sideline. I only played my full sophomore year, full junior year, and then I only played 10 games my freshman year, 6 games my senior year. So I was talking to some schools, D3 schools, NAI schools, and they ended up telling me, you're probably just gonna need to go JUCO, because obviously D3s don't offer athletic scholarships and whatnot. So had to go JUCO route, went JUCO for a year. I ended up tearing my meniscus, after the first season, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm just gonna focus on training, get a job. I worked at a little gym in my town, worked like the front desk, and so I was training kids doing that. Um, and so I started training the kids that I was working with, throughout high school a little bit more. And they just got into high school when I stopped. So working with them, working with some of their friends, just grinded it out, for a while. Um, and then eventually got to where I am now. Oh, I can't hear you, Mason. You're on mute.
So you dislocated your knee 4 times, tore your
Yeah.
meniscus, and fractured your tibia. You,
Yep. Tibia. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
bro, what makes you come back after like the fourth dislocation or
Mm,
any of that?
yeah. Honestly, man, like I was just hungry, man. Like from a young age, I just wanted to play college basketball. I wanted to play professional basketball. And that was like a goal of mine, and I was just always super determined. And there was times, believe me, like I wanted to quit. I would tell myself all the time, I'm gonna quit. Like, why me? Why is this happening to me? And there was a lot of times where I almost gave up. But I just wanted it, and I didn't want to give up. On my teammates. Because we had a really good high school team, and I didn't want to give up on them. And I just wanted to chase my dream. And then it got to a point where I was just in college, and I was training kids, and I finally tore my meniscus. And at that, especially at that level, JUCO ball is high level basketball. We had a couple. I mean, pretty much our whole starting lineup went to play D2s after the D2 school after that year, and it was just super high level basketball, man. And it just set me back a lot. I had to learn how to freaking walk again, learn how to jump and do all that stuff, and it was just, especially at that level, it was just too hard, and I already went through so much stuff. So I was just like, I'm just done with that, and I'm just gonna focus on training kids. But yeah, it was just didn't want to give up.
Ryan Buchanan, Two Hands Basketball, he has a similar story. I don't think he had as many injuries as you, though, but he has a similar story where I don't know if he says depressed, but he definitely was down and sad until he, started helping out at IMG and training and realizing, okay, he can still fulfill his passion for basketball through that. You kind of
Mm-hmm.
already had that going for you, though. So when did you start to really, from the injury until you really started picking up on the basketball training piece full time?
Mm-hmm.
That gap until you realize, oh, I can still hoop. I can live out my hoop dreams and enjoy the game of basketball through training, even though I'm done
Yeah,
with playing.
yeah. So honestly, like throughout high school, like I was obsessed with Devin Williams, Devin in the Lab. And I was always used to watch his videos, and I was like, because I honestly was like, I don't even know what I want to freaking do when I get older. Throughout high school, I was like, I don't know what the heck I want to do. I was thinking about being a sports performance trainer. And as I started getting older, and getting into college, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a sports performance trainer, and I was already, like I said, training a couple kids, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, honestly, like I think I can do this. I saw other people doing it, like at the time it was like Devin Williams was really big, J Law was really big. I mean, they still are big, but they were pretty much like the prominent ones, the only ones that were doing it like full time, and I actually worked out with sorry if you can hear the dog barking in the back, but
They're going
I
ham
was
right now.
actually, yeah, I actually was working out with Jordan Lawley a few times, maybe once or twice a month, because he'd come down to San Diego, and I'd worked out with him, and I was like, damn, I think this is something I can do, and I didn't really think too much of it, but then finally when I was done playing, I really started to take it a little bit more seriously and try to do it, way more.
So did J Law hit you up on that internship program, or did you hit him up? How did you get connected with him?
No, so I worked with him. He actually, so when I hit up Tony, I forgot how to say his last name, TVB ball, Tony Bassaturo, I want to say it is his
Okay.
other trainer, because like he followed me on Instagram, and so I hit him up. I was like, I want to come, learn from you guys and help you guys out, and I'll do anything I can to get up there and help you guys out, whatever, and just learn. I'll rebound, freaking clean the floors, do whatever. And so he
Right.
was like, "Oh man, that's awesome." Whenever he told me I could come out, and I actually didn't. So last time I worked with J Law, so this was 2 years ago when I worked with J Law, right? And I went up there. I worked out with him. Last time I worked out with him was like 3 years prior to that, and like I said, I only worked out with him maybe like once, twice a month, and it was only maybe for like a span of 4 months, maybe, right? So I didn't see him too much, and at first he was like, dude, you look really familiar, like as I was talking to J Law, and he was like, you look really familiar. And then he was like, don't tell me, don't tell me who you are. I know who you are and whatever. And then he finally clicked and he was like, oh yeah, I used to work with you up in San Diego. And he remembered, the whole thing. But I was
So like
only
you
up there.
trained with him as a trainee at first, and
Yes,
then
as
as
a
a
train. Yeah.
trainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to, like, he used to work me out, right? He used to do like groups and like clinics up in San Diego, like on Sundays, I think it was. And so me and a couple of my friends, we would go work out with him, and he had like 10, 12 kids in the gym, every Sunday. We'd do that once, twice a month. And then it finally clicked because like back in the day, I used to have a buzz cut. I never had, I never had this hair. So it took him a minute to figure out, who I was, but then, he remembered. But yeah,
And did
just
he
pretty
have
much
the Prius then? Did he have the Prius then? The orange Prius that he was
back in
driving
the
around?
day. No, actually, this was, I think he just upgraded. I forgot what he had. Forgot what he had after the Prius, but he had something super nice. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember he was telling us about that though when we were like working out with him. But he had something different. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. So I ended up going there for a day and helping him out with like NBA pre-draft stuff and it was just NBA pre-draft stuff. So we had like a guard workout and then they had a workout with the bigs and stuff.
What would you say you realized as a trainee now that you do as a trainer that helped you, or that you kind of model your training after? How did doing
Hmm.
both sides of that help you as a trainer?
Hmm. That's a good question. Um, can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, it wasn't worded very well at all. But
It's all
you
good.
get
No
you get the
worries.
spirit behind it. Like, so you were a trainee at one point, and now
Hmm.
you're a trainer. You've worked with him as an athlete, and you've worked with him as a trainer. From what I'm hearing, how has that influenced you with what you do now, with your style of teaching now?
So I would say like working out, I didn't realize, how detailed. He was very detailed, and he is detailed. I think, I haven't worked with him in a couple of years, but he was very detailed back in the day, and he broke things down to where you can really understand it. Because I was learning new stuff, I didn't really know some of the stuff he was teaching. I never seen it before, but the way he dissected everything was awesome, and it really helped me absorb that information, and then apply it into like games and stuff. And then his energy was out the, like, it was crazy. Like, energy was always on 100. He was always, hyping us up. Even like if we did mess up, like he'd still like wouldn't be like, oh, what the hell? Like, are you serious? Mission wide open late. Like he'd like still like find some way to cheer you up, make you happy, and whatnot. I would say I really took, what I learned from him is detail, energy, and then like just his leadership ability. That's what I really took from him when I was working out with him, and when I helped him out, that one day. And I see all of his stuff on social media and as well, and so I can kind of get a grasp from that.
Speaking of social media, you've been doing this full time for 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yes.
What was that decision like when you? But I'm going to ask about social media next. What was your
Okay.
emotional psyche like when you decided to quit from the front desk at that job, wherever you were working?
Uh-huh.
What was that decision like when you quit and went full time with the training?
Honestly, like I had no clue what the heck I was doing. Like I literally probably was working out 10 kids, maybe like 10 kids. And I was still in college. I was going into my second year of college. And I had no idea what the heck I was doing, but I was still, living at home. I didn't have to pay rent yet because I was still going to school. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna just try to make this thing happen. And I would just literally have my phone out, record at every single session, you know, um, record at every single session, and I would just try to hustle and get more kids. I'd try to find kids out in San Diego and get at them to see if they would want to, come in and work with me. But yeah, it was definitely rough to start, man, because I literally had no clue what the heck I was doing.
What are you? Why did you go so hard on social media? What did you see a benefit? Did they help you get clientele? What was your thought process with that?
Um, so honestly, like Gary V inspired me. Gary Vaynerchuk, he was been preaching for the longest time. You got to post on social media to build a brand, to build awareness. Post 2 to 4 times a day on every single platform. So that really like stuck with me. And when I first started, I pretty much like 2 to 3 years ago, I'd post like every single day, like literally, like even when I wasn't doing it full time, I'd still like post every single day, just because I thought, I had to, just to build awareness, and it actually like helped a lot. I ain't gonna lie, like I spent a lot of time putting out content. That's where I kind of grew my following from. Was back those 2 years ago, I'd post literally like 2 to 3 times a day, two minimum, and then some days I'd get 3 posts in there. And that's really what grew my following.
These are detailed posts too. Like I remember your edits. I'm
Yep.
like, yo, this
Yep.
is
Yeah.
like, and he was consistent
Yep.
across the board with the branding. I'm like, yo, what software were
Yeah.
you using? We talked about it
Mm,
before, the
yeah.
Clips software or
Yeah.
something different.
Yep. It was Apple Clips, and so the way I was doing it, I honestly never saw doing it like me. So they would use Clips, but I found out like a little thing you can screenshot like a little moment in the video, and you can put it into Clips, right? So you can get to someone making a crossover, and then you screenshot that part right when they cross it over, and so then you put it into Clips, and now you're able to put down the details of all the crossover and whatnot. And so I had that down, and I'd bust out 2 or 3 videos of that every single day, but it'd take me like an hour to freaking edit it, but I didn't care. I would spend 3 hours, 2 hours a day editing, and I did not care because that's all I was trying to do. And I'll just post those, and it helped. I grew my following, but then after a while, I haven't posted a video like that in almost 2 years now, probably. Maybe like a year and a half,
The interesting part about that, because your brand was like before I even knew you, I knew your name and I also knew the way that you did the Apple Clips and edited the
Mm-hmm.
posts for Instagram was different.
Mm-hmm.
Like because I think Mike Dunn was the first guy, and then I forget
Mm-hmm.
the trainer's name, but for you, you did it differently than any other trainer I had seen on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. So, question for
Yeah.
you is, I talked to I don't know if you know Nick Aldero. He's
Yep. 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 I know Nick.
Nick's posting like he's consistent. He's been posting for like 3-4 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had an interview with him, And he said he thinks social media is overrated. Now, of course, he posts on it. He's habitually posting because it's what he's gotten used to.
Yeah.
And for him, I guess he's trying to market to a global audience. So he can't help the kid in India in person like he wants to, versus the kid
Mhm.
that's coming to New Jersey. For you, it helped you build your following, it helps you grow. But did it benefit your in person training the way you thought it would?
Yeah. So honestly, like going back to Nick, like I talked we talked to him about kind of like we talked about social media kind of together a few weeks ago, and then I heard that podcast, and he actually got me like thinking. I was like, when I heard that and he said it's overrated, I was like, honestly, I was like, why? Like, I don't know why I've been so consistent. Like, I always post, every single day, and I do, I was inspired by Gary Vee, and then like I honestly have not been growing on like IG like at all. Like I listened to his thing too, and we talked about it. Like I've lost followers as well, and I have no freaking clue why. I've been like, even though I don't post 2 to 3 times a day anymore, I still post 6 to 7 days a week, once a day. And I'm losing followers, and I have no clue, why. And so he got me thinking too. I was like, why do I post, so much? It is a habit, I think, now too, for me. But yeah, I was got me thinking about that. And I forgot you said you asked a different question. I forgot at the end. What was your last
I
question?
forgot. I guess has it helped?
Oh,
You've been
there we
losing
go. Okay.
followers, but has it helped you in your
Mhm.
in person training business?
No, it has not. It has not helped me. I mean, okay, I would say maybe the past 2 years. I haven't done exact. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'll just say off the top of my head, probably gained maybe 10 clients over time, and maybe not all those kids are still training with me. Right? There's only maybe 2 or 3 kids that are still with me to this day, but um, yeah, it has not really helped me at all in person. It's helped me from like an online standpoint. Selling some of my like online products a little bit, but I mean, it's nothing crazy, honestly. Like yeah, it hasn't really helped me in person.
Which is wild, man. When I ask these questions,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to like be polar or make people sway a certain way. I'm just asking people who've done that junk. Like Nick's been consistent, you've been consistent. You built, in my opinion, like a big following, a large following. And I've always
Mm-hmm.
wondered, like, how do you turn that educational content into because you're doing it the right way. I mean, you're posting stuff, you're posting videos that highlights the kids you're training, the athletes you're
Mm-hmm.
training, but it also gives education to people on a global or nationwide scale. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure out what that gap is because yeah, like I listen to Gary Vee too, bro. Like I literally
Mm-hmm.
heard my man say, he said, and I mean, he's weird because like he actually texts back. He's tweeted back at me like 2 times.
Oh, damn.
And
Okay, that's cool.
in the video I was looking at, he was saying communicating on social media. He was talking about the high school party rule. And he was saying communicating on social media is just as important as managing your checkbook, being able to pay your taxes. And what we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
before this podcast interview, managed by the numbers. And I'm like, yo, that's pretty important. That's huge. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think that gap, if you were being objective, what do you think that gap is between, man, it got me 10 at first, but it hasn't done anything for me lately? Where's that gap that you think is in your social media approach or strategy?
Honestly, I don't even know what it is. Like I'm um what do you mean by gap?
The gap between like, hey, this I'm doing it, I'm consistent, I don't know why, it's a
Mm,
habit, but I really don't think it's helping me right now in terms of
okay. Yeah.
growing your training base, like the kids that you're training with and getting you more people to fill out that next group session or whatever the case may be, whatever the goal is.
Yeah, I honestly like that's a good question. I honestly don't know what it is. Maybe people were so in love with like the breakdown stuff and being so I don't know, so detailed. They like the
Mm.
detail, and I just thought I honestly don't do that stuff anymore. That's not even really how like I train kids anymore, anyways. Either like I don't really like get it. Like I'm detailed, but I don't break it down like every single thing. But maybe if I went back to that, it could help. But I just don't want to do it because it just takes too much time, and it's just not how I really teach like that anymore. So it wouldn't be, I wouldn't feel right doing it. I rather just post, what I do in sessions and, give people information that way. Because I still think it's informative and it's still helping people learn, but it's just a little bit different now. Some posts, do really well, and then some just, stink. But I don't really like trip over it. I don't like get all mad, and think the whole day's ruined. But if it does well, it does well. If it's not, then it's cool. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad you're being open and sharing this too, because it's for me. I feel like a lot of trainers are going to be. Some of them are going to be like, man, I knew it. Like they're going to have confirmation, and others are going to be like, man, what the heck? Like, why am I doing this junk? And
Mm-hmm.
like Nick was saying, it definitely can help, but he thinks people overrate how much it can actually help. And I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out because I do see your content, I do see your posts, and for me, I'm scrolling so fast, like it's rare that I actually stop and look and watch. And it's at the point now, the feed is so cluttered, in my opinion, that whatever has your attention is it's just good. Like just seeing the name in and of itself is good. I don't know if kids are actually stopping to watch it. I imagine they are, but I'm just trying to find
Mm-hmm.
that gap, man, the anchor. Like, okay, social media can help. It's not all about the money. It's all about helping people out. But how do you bridge that gap between I'm
Yeah.
helping with social currency and or it's helping with actual currency with more trainees coming in the door. So I'm just going to be asking a bunch of people this
Yeah.
question. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
contributed to that.
And one thing I'll say is like my goal has always been to help as many people across the world as possible. So that's kind of been like a reason, I guess, too. Like I've been consistent with it. And I'm trying to find more ways to be efficient with my time. Because like I said, I used to spend 2-3 hours a day just editing, like every single day, and now I don't even do that. Like so, like what I do now just to be more efficient with my time is I'll record just my sessions. So like I'll have a cameraman, he'll just come shoot one of my sessions. He does all the editing, and then I just maybe pull small because I put like I don't know if you um follow me on YouTube, but on YouTube I post like full workout videos. So it'll be like a 20 to 25-minute video. And so I have a bunch of clips in there and I'll just chop those up and I'll just put them on my feed. That way I don't have to do a ton of editing. It takes me 5 minutes to do that. And then like I'll pull out my phone sometimes in sessions and I'll shoot a quick video of the drill and I'll do like a voiceover. And that takes me, 10, 15 minutes maybe. So now I have a video, for every single day. And I don't have to worry about going outside of my time and going to shoot a breakdown video. And it takes, an hour to 2 hours to shoot videos for the week. And then I have to go and it takes another 5 to 6 hours to edit all of them, so I don't really do that anymore. I've been trying to be more efficient with my time, and hiring a cameraman, it's helped a lot. It saves me a lot of time because he just does all the editing. I might just have to go trim a clip to put it on social media real quick, and that's about it. So I've been doing a lot better with scheduling and timing.
Explain that for me again. So you have a cameraman come, he records the entire workout. You may like trim the clip. Do you save it through YouTube? Does he send it to your phone? Like, because he has an
Mm-hmm.
Apple product too, or do you download
Yeah.
it from Google Drive? What's your process for all that?
Yeah. So I hire him. He shoots, the whole workout. He trims it up, edits on himself. It's a raw cut video, because I've noticed on YouTube, the raw videos, like for workouts and games, do the best, and then the highlights and mixtapes, do good, kind of on IG and stuff. But that's more for like in-game stuff. But for workouts, I feel like the raw footage does a lot better. But anyway, so I have him, shoot the whole video. Then he edits up. Then he'll either send it to me on Dropbox or Google Drive, and then I save it, to my laptop. I'll get it to my phone, and then I just go from there, and I'll edit it up on iMovie, or I use this other app called LumaFusion, and so I just use those two things, and there's a video.
And the voiceovers are more so for IG, like you record the workout on your phone while you're there, maybe show the trainees some
Mm-hmm.
film, and then after the session, you like slow it down, voiceover on it, post it.
Yep. So like what I do is if I like maybe there's like something I haven't posted before, or something I think it's important, I'll just pull my phone out, I'll record, I'll just leave it recording for like a minute, and then boom, if someone, like, sometimes people don't even make a shot or people don't even hit it, but I don't really care. Like, I'll just post it in there and the kids don't really care, obviously, because people think, oh, you have to be perfect. This kid sucks. He can't freaking make a shot. But I'm like, dude, it's like everyone misses shots. I know you miss shots when you're working out and stuff, so I'm not really like tripping about it, because like people think everything's got to be perfect. I've had people be like, oh, this dude just missed a jumper, like he can't shoot. I'm like, really? You're judging him off of one jumper? You've never missed one in your life? Like, but
Right. Come to a
yeah,
session.
like, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I just record like a quick, 1 minute clip, and then I just put my phone away. Like, I don't really like have my phone out the whole session anymore like I used to. I might have it out for 2 to 3 minutes max, and then that's it. I'll put it away, and I'm just, even when I still have my phone, you can still hear me talking. Like, I'm just have my phone, right here, but my eyes are just on the kids, and I'm talking to them. Even like when I'm recording, like I'll still, look over here. I have it on the thing, but I'm talking to the kid over here, and trying to help him out. So I don't really try to let it like distract me and the whole session be about, getting it on film. And that's why, like, I have a cameraman too. Like, he can just worry about that, and I'm just worrying about, the kids.
That makes sense, man. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is pretty good information. Do you have anything else that you think would be helpful to any trainers out there? I mean, you're young, man. You're 22. When do you turn 23?
Turn 23 next year. So I just turned 22 in January.
Golly,
Yeah.
bro. So
Yeah.
super young. Any word of advice to anybody who may be in college right now, or anybody who's your age, or just starting this thing, uh, on what you would suggest to help them out?
If you are doing this right now and you're young, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Because trust me, man, I've even had my own parents tell me, like, I can't do this shit. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't ever quit, man. Like, believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, and keep it pushing, man, because this is possible. You can do it. Before you succeed, you are going to fail. So realize that there's going to be bumps along the road. There's been so many times where I was like, dude, can I even do this? Like, I wanted to quit too. Times where I was broke, making no money, so, and I just never quit. Like Nipsey Hussle said, like, I just never quit, so this is what my shirt says right here. It says Dream Chaser. That's my shirt. I wear it because I am a dream chaser, and I've been a dream chaser since I was in high school. And like I said, I just never quit. Just keep it going.
Man, respect to that vulnerability and respect. Rest in peace to
Mm.
neighborhood Nip the Great.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, and last question for you, man. Like, how
Mm.
has real deal? How has the playbook? How's Hoops Institute? I know Mark Kennebrew. He's shout out to him,
Mm.
man, with Kinetic.
Mm.
He's giving away some great advice. How has the playbook helped you out with what you are doing with your training business?
Man, it's changed my whole business. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, yesterday I looked at my income for the whole entire month whole entire year of 2021, and I've made more money in these 4 months than I did when I first started this 2 years ago. So that first full year I went full time, I've already made more money than I did in that whole entire year. And it's only been 4 months of 2021, and it's helped me. Like, it's literally it's because of the playbook, and it's because of Kinetic. Applying those two things and putting them together, it's changed my business, man, and it's awesome. And if you're not on, if you're watching this and you're not, on the playbook, you got to get on it, man, because it's definitely going to take your business to the next level. If this is something that you're serious about, and taking your business to the next level.
What did you have before this? What website did you have? And I appreciate you sharing that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had Squarespace. I was using Squarespace.
And imagine your site, it looked clean. What was the
Mm-hmm.
challenge there? I mean, you had to do everything yourself pretty much, right? Like, you had to,
Yeah.
it's drag and drop. I never used Squarespace, but
Mm-hmm.
what are the differences between like that Squarespace and the Wixes and the Weebly's versus the playbook?
That's a good question. I would say it's almost like similar, but it's kind of like harder to like find like a cleaner like look. Like, I feel like the one that got set up through in the playbook for me is phenomenal. Like, I'm trying to like go back, and I've looked at my old website, and it's just like, it doesn't look as professional. It doesn't look as clean. And there's like a bunch of different features that Squarespace doesn't even have, and the playbook does. That I
What's your
really
favorite
like.
one?
Favorite feature?
Yeah, within
Like
the playbook.
any feature? Any feature?
Yeah. Any feature that's your favorite feature that's been the most helpful, I would say, in the playbook.
The texting, getting my own number and being able to text has been the biggest thing for sure.
Word, man. Gabe, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you for
Hmm.
being willing to jump on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. We got to do this again.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm definitely down to do that.